The power of visualization. See it, believe it, achieve it. Close your eyes. Not to escape the world, but to see it as it could be. Because the truth is that everything you can hold in your hands began first in the mind of someone who refused to let go of their vision. Steel empires, global movements, technological revolutions, every towering skyscraper that defies gravity once lived as a faint flicker in the soul of a dreamer. What the world called unrealistic, they called inevitable. And so I ask you now, what do you see when you close your eyes? Not what the world handed you, not the limits you were taught. What do you see when the noise dies down and your soul speaks? Because that is where your life begins. Not in the circumstances, not in the conditions, but in the clarity of a vision so vivid it burns into your reality like sunlight through glass. Visualization is not fantasy. It is not idle wishing. It is disciplined imagination, belief translated into movement. It is the master plan of champions, the secret language of every soul, whoever shifted the course of history. Walt Disney looked out at swamp and envisioned a kingdom. Edison stared into the dark and foresaw light. Lincoln, in the midst of civil war, envisioned unity. These weren't hallucinations. They were a deeper kind of sight. And you, too, have access to that power. Yet here lies the tragedy. Most never tap into it. Instead of envisioning the future, they rehearse the past. They replay their failures. They anticipate rejection. They picture the worst-case scenario and call it realism. But the subconscious doesn't analyze or argue. It obeys. If you consistently feed it defeat, you train yourself for defeat. If you give it vision, you awaken strength beyond calculation. When the Wright brothers dreamed of flight, they had no money, no recognition, no credentials. What they possessed was a vision they refused to release. They saw wings in their minds, long before metal ever cut through the sky. They obsessed, they bled, they stumbled, but they kept seeing it again and again until gravity itself relented. This is not blind optimism. It is mental architecture. Visualization is how we hand instructions to the universe. You don't attract what you casually want. You attract what you prepare for. And preparation begins inside. The mind is a garden. Whatever you plant takes root. Plant doubt and doubt multiplies. Plant vision and vision expands. The soil does not care what seed you sow. It will grow whatever you give it. That is the dangerous beauty of thought, which means you must guard your imagination carefully, because it is your construction site. But here's the turning point. Seeing is only the beginning. You must inhabit your vision. Live inside it. Walk, talk, and think as if it already belongs to you. The subconscious does not respond to verbal orders. It adapts to patterns. That is why elite athletes and special forces warriors rehearse success long before stepping into the arena. They visualize every detail, every outcome, every movement until the body has no choice but to follow the mind. If you wake up and focus only on problems, problems will multiply. If you rise and focus on goals, as though they already exist, energy builds, doubt fades, and action sharpens like a blade. Still, vision without belief is like a canvas without color. Belief breathes substance into the image, and belief, like vision, is a decision. Henry Ford declared, "Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right." That wasn't clever wordplay. It was law. The law of self-concept. You will never outperform the picture you hold of yourself. Can you see yourself there before the world puts you there? Can you walk and speak as the person you are becoming even when your environment screams the opposite? That is the price of greatness. Andrew Carnegie entered America as a poor immigrant, but in his inner world, he was already a titan. He pictured deals before they existed. He walked into rooms long before invitations arrived. And eventually, the outer world caught up to his inner reality. You must do the same. Become a visionary not just in your career, but in your identity. Who are you becoming? What does that version of you look like, think like, speak like, tolerate, and pursue? Define it, write it, speak it, rehearse it. That is how the invisible becomes solid. But vision without action is a mirage. Too many stop at the dream and never enter the doing. A mental image must be given breath. Clarity must transform into commitment. Vague goals lead only to vague results. The subconscious needs detail. Not "I want success," but "I will earn this much by this date, serving these people, solving this problem." Not "I want health," but "I will weigh this much, run this far, lift this amount by this time." That is how you issue precise instructions to the mind. Define it. Design it. Live it mentally every single day. Because consistency sculpts destiny. You don't become what you picture once. You become what you picture relentlessly, daily, until your behaviors, your standards, even your environment start to bend to match that inner image. This isn't magic. It's biology. Your brain has a mechanism called the reticular activating system. It filters reality based on what you've been feeding it. It's like tuning a radio. Tune to scarcity, and you miss abundance. Tune to vision, and pathways appear that were always there, but invisible to the unprepared eye. Clarity breeds belief. Belief breeds discipline. And discipline is what makes mediocrity unbearable. When you've seen the vision so clearly, discipline is no longer punishment. It is alignment. It's the natural pull of living in sync with the image burned inside you. And when your vision is vivid enough, mediocrity becomes suffocating. The truth is, most people don't quit because they lack talent. They quit because they forget what they saw. The dream fades, and comfort takes its place. But not you. You will hold the vision like fire in the dark. You will return to it in the silence of the morning and the stillness of the night. You will guard it from doubt like a lion guards its cubs, because that vision is your life, waiting to be claimed. And every repetition, every sacrifice, every rejection becomes another brick in the structure you've already seen. The first steps are always the hardest, not because they are complex, but because they shatter the old identity. But the moment you act, you send a signal to yourself. This is who I am now. And slowly, the world adjusts to that declaration. But vision is not only mental, it must be emotional. Emotion fuels everything. Gratitude, in particular, is the proof of belief. When you thank the future before it arrives, you declare your trust. Gratitude creates hunger. Hunger creates resilience, and resilience is essential, because life will test you. Edison didn't fail 1,000 times. He discovered 1,000 steps. Visionaries don't run from failure. They refine it into progress. Flexibility, too, is wisdom. The destination stays the same, but the path bends. Rivers do not break when they meet rocks. They flow around them. So must you. Doors open only when you move. Help appears only when you commit. Teachers show up only when the student is ready. Growth demands humility. Reading, asking, listening, sharpening. The greatest visionaries were also the greatest students. They did not lean on talent. They relied on growth. And growth requires admitting you don't know, seeking guidance, and remaining teachable, because your current self cannot handle the weight of your future. You must evolve into the version capable of carrying it. Yet none of this matters without courage. The moment you step toward vision, resistance will rise. Fear will whisper. Doubt will shout. Comfort will seduce. That resistance is not proof of failure. It is confirmation of growth. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the choice that something else matters more. Every visionary made that choice. Martin Luther King Jr. dreamed of equality long before it was tangible. He lived inside it, preached it, moved in it. That vision armed him with courage to endure the fire. And that is your call as well. To act not from what is, but from what could be. To stop letting external conditions dictate your inner world. To stop handing your story over to statistics, opinions, or history. Your story begins in your mind, and if you can see it, believe it, and hold it long enough, the world will eventually yield to it. Most give up too early, not because the dream was impossible, but because they stopped looking at it. They let failure become the lens. But you will not. You will guard your vision like oxygen because it is oxygen. It will fuel you when you are weary. It will lift you when you are low. It will remind you who you are and what you are meant to do. You are not born to fade into the background. You are not born merely to survive. You are born to create, and creation begins in the unseen. Before the skyscraper, the blueprint. Before the speech, the thought. Before the masterpiece, the vision. Go there daily. Stand in your dream. Touch the walls. Hear the echoes of your own greatness. Make it real before it arrives. And then, return and build it brick by brick, word by word, breath by breath. Act as if it's already yours. Speak as though it has already happened. When doubt knocks, shut the door. Doubt cannot live in a mind saturated with vision. Because here is the secret. The world doesn't respond to what is real. It responds to what is believed. A person with vision and the courage to act outweighs 1,000 skeptics. Belief fused with vision becomes a magnet. It draws people, resources, and opportunities into alignment. Visualization is not a trick. It is not a secret. It is law. And like every law, it operates whether or not you understand it. The only question is, will you use it? Will you dare to dream so vividly, so consistently, that your entire being begins to shift? Because once you do, the world bends. Your voice changes. Your presence grows. Fear loses its grip. You stop shrinking. You begin owning the weight of your potential. And not just for yourself, for everyone who will rise because you rose, for the family transformed, the legacy built, the generations inspired. That is the responsibility of visionaries, to see not only what is, but what could be, and to walk toward it daily until a whisper in your heart becomes a thunder in the world. One day you will step into the life you once imagined. You will shake hands with those you once admired from afar. You will stand on stages you once visualized. And in that moment, your mind will whisper, I have been here before. And it will be true, because you saw it first. You believed it before anyone else did. You carried it through rejection, through delay, through failure. That is the mark of greatness. To hold a vision long enough against all odds until the world has no choice but to conform. See it, believe it, achieve it.